a lot of my hashtag science segments, and we know it's not real science, it's hashtag science. We know that most of my hashtag science articles are about NASA. But today we're going to go from the macro into the micro world. As I come on here and show you that all the science you've been presented is fucking bullshit. The fundamental way in which they define our realm is false. It's non-demonstrable, and I'm going to keep talking about it. So like I said, we're bringing it from the macro discussion of the apparently infinite universe. We're bringing it down to the micro discussion, which they say all runs off the same physics, guys. It's all particle physics. Whether it's really, really, really big, huge things or really, really small things, it's all apparently the same particle physics. This article is entitled, Scientists at Fermilab Close In on Fifth Force of Nature. And guys, some of my longtime listeners, you can understand that when I saw that title, well, of course it piqued my interest, because now they're telling me that apparently there's a fifth force of nature. And I've been telling you guys for a while, there's not even four forces in nature. There's really only one, and that's electromagnetism. But these goofy scientists and hashtag academia are going to tell you that not only is there no four forces of nature, there's actually a fifth now. Let's read the article. Scientists near Chicago may be getting closer to discovering the existence of a new force in nature. Wow, thanks, guys. And just so you guys know, this article was brought to us by BBC News. Pretty much as mainstream media as you can get. And this is presented, guess what, in their science section. Yeah, blah. Let's go. They have found more evidence that subatomic particles called muons are not behaving in the way predicted by current theory of subatomic particles. Right. Because, when you have hashtag science, not real science, and when you talk about things like theoretical physics, not, demonstrable physics, you get to just say things that when you find behaviors existing in nature that don't align with your current theories, instead of just, throwing those theories out the window because they're non-demonstrable, you're just going to pile a new theory on top of it. I don't know. Look, when I learned science, I just thought science was about, observing a thing, measuring a thing, which is basically testing it, and then being able to repeat that test or experiment. But no, what you do is when you find something that contradicts your current theory, which basically falsifies your theories of, the forces that you're telling us we have, instead of tossing the theory out, you just add a new theory and say, hey, there's actually 5 forces in nature. Hey, guess what, guys? Z's on to you. I don't know if anybody else is. Someday you guys are going to figure out what I'm doing here. Some of you already get it. Some of you get it. For the rest of you, maybe start to catch up. I don't know. Let's continue. Scientists believe that an unknown force could be acting on these muons. And again, remember, guys, these muons are subatomic particles. So, you have your atom, which is, supposed to be the basis, but then you have these subatomic particles that actually make up the atom. Well, apparently these muons are one of them. But they're behaving in an unpredictable way. So we got to actually then propose a new fifth force of nature. Just so you guys know what a force is, it's basically a force of nature is anything that binds and influences particles or subatomic particles. Let's continue because it's going to go into this a bit more. Now, scientists believe that an unknown force could be acting on the muons. More data will be needed to confirm these results, but if they are verified, it could mark the beginning of a revolution in physics. Wow, okay. All of the forces we experience every day can be reduced to just 4 categories, and I tell you guys this all the time. But here we go. Gravity, electromagnetism, the strong force, and the weak force, also called strong and weak nuclear forces, or nuclear forces. These 4 fundamental forces govern how all objects and particles in the universe interact with each other, right? Just like I always tell you. But here's what Z is going to tell you. But I want to tell you what hashtag science is not going to tell you. That although they say there's four forces of nature, guess what, guys? Only one of those is demonstrable. That's electromagnetism. What's that mean, Z? It means the other 3, gravity, the strong force, and the weak force, it means they're just bullshit. They're theories. And theories as being kind. They're actually deceptions. Likely instituted to try to prove to you that you live in a heliocentric world. And you and everything else can stick to the outside of a spinning globe that's moving 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Yeah, guys. He's been telling you this for as long as I've been talking to you. There's really only one demonstrable force, electromagnetism, not gravity, strong force, and weak nuclear force. But now, instead of just, getting rid of the ones that are non-demonstrable, they're just going to fucking tell you that there might be a 5th force of nature, just out of nowhere. Yeah. I don't know, but what's Z doing here? Z who has no content. Z who just has a drama channel. Z who some people are trying to get my channel shut down because they're insanely jealous of me because I can talk about boring science and hold a bunch of people as I do it by myself. Yeah. As you just say all that about me, I'm destroying all the lies of fucking hashtag science, the co-opted academia, and the quote-unquote education presented to you by the Rockefeller Foundation. Yeah. But what's Z doing over here? Yeah. Like I said, some of you guys know what's going on. Some of you guys are fucking, maybe need training wheels. And some of you guys are just deceivers and liars and backbiters and jealous. So I'll keep basically overturning all popular academia and popular science here every single day. I'll keep doing that, and you all just keep doing what you all are doing. I don't know. Let's continue. The findings have been made at the U.S. particle accelerator facility called Fermilab. They build on results announced in 2021, in which the Fermilab team first suggested the possibility of a 5th force of nature. Since then, the research team has gathered more data and reduced the uncertainty of their measurements by a factor of 2. Interesting. So if your uncertainty is like 1 million and you reduced it to 500,000, is that? Let me continue. Quote, we're really probing new territory. We're determining the measurements at a better precision than it has ever been seen before. In an experiment with the catchy name G-2. Hey, all you gematria people and all you, hey, Smith W., I see you're here. Look into this. What do they mean when they give this experimental name the catchy name of G-2, G-2? It's got to mean something anyway. The researchers accelerate the subatomic particles called muons around a 15 m diameter ring, which means microdiameter, I guess, where they are circulated about 1,000 times at nearly the speed of light. Ooh, that's really fast. 1,000 times the speed of light. That's really fucking fast. Anyway, let's continue. The researchers found that they might be behaving in a way that can't be explained by the current theory, which is called the Standard Model, because of the influence of a new force of nature. Oh, you see that little logical twist they just there that made no sense? Let me break it down for you guys. Their experiments, if we're even to believe that they exist, don't match their current theories. So they just need to create a new fucking bullshit force. Again, that's going to be non-demonstrable and considered a new theory. Let's continue. Although evidence is strong. The Fermilab team hasn't yet got conclusive proof, right? And again, more proof being presented to you by scientists that have equipment that, you can't have ever and ever and ever. Just like they could say, we can prove space because we're there taking pictures. You can't do it. It can't be repeated. But just trust us because we're #science. Let's continue. They had hoped to have it by now, but uncertainties in what the standard model says the amount of wobbling in muons should be has increased because of developments in theoretical physics. In essence, the goalposts have been moved for the experimental physics. Oh, interesting. So basically, you're saying you're going to move the goalposts of experimental physics because of your theories. So again, you're going to place your theories higher than actual experimentation. So you're going to say your #theories trump all demonstrable physics. Interesting. Let's continue. The researchers believe that they will have the data they need and that the theoretical uncertainty will have narrowed in 2 years' time sufficiently for them to get to their goal. That said, a rival team in Europe's Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, we all know that, are hoping to get there first. Hey, so one of you guys are going to get to the bullshit model first. I wonder who's going to win that coin flip, because I don't think you guys are doing a damn thing with your quote-unquote experiments. Oh, man. Dr. Mitesh Patel from Imperial College London is among the thousands of physicists at the Large Hadron Collider attempting to find flaws in the standard model. Well, why don't you just ask Z? Because I told you what the flaws in the standard model. It's that you give us 4 forces, but only one is demonstrable. And that's electromagnetism. The flaw is you guys can't admit that we live in an electromagnetic universe, an electromagnetic reality. And that's the only thing that binds anything that we can call physical together. There is no gravity because it's non-demonstrable. There's no experimental proof that there's gravity, so it doesn't exist. And it's the same for the weak and strong nuclear forces. It's just bullshit, guys. So instead of just admitting that everything's electromagnetic from the macro to the micro and that we're electromagnetic beings, and then our electrical nature is in touch with this entire world, and that the macro and the micro worlds are basically one and the same, and everything's just electricity. Instead of you guys just telling us that so we can realize our true human potential, and we can realize that, like I said earlier, that if we tune ourselves to the proper electromagnetic resonance, that we can begin to synchronize with each other. Instead of just telling us that, you're just keep lying to us. And you're instead of tossing out the 3 bullshit forces of nature, you're going to add a fucking 5th one. Because you're deceivers, tricksters, liars. And guess what? I see through you. And fucking more and more people are doing it every day. Let's continue. Measuring behavior that doesn't agree with the predictions of the standard model is the holy grail for particle physics. It would fire the starting gun for a revolution in our understanding because the model has withstood all experimental tests for more than 50 years. Oh, has it? Let's continue. Fermilab says that its next step of results will be the ultimate showdown between theory and experiment that may uncover new particles or forces. Hey guys, there shouldn't be any showdowns, quote unquote, between theory and experiment, because anybody could just fucking make up a theory. It's incredible. They have tricked us and humanity to ignore all demonstrable reality in favor of their theories. It's so insidious, and I'm tired of it. I really am. Let's continue. So, what is the standard model, and why is it getting an experimental result that doesn't quite fit in with its predictions such a big deal? I don't know, other than what I just fucking said. Let's hear what you have to say. Everything in the world around us is made from atoms, which in turn are made from even smaller particles. These interact to create the 4 forces of nature, like I already said. Electromagnetism, 2 nuclear forces, and gravity. Their behavior is predicted by the standard model because they all supposedly act the same. Thank you, Einstein. Anyway, and for 50 years, It has predicted their behavior perfectly with no errors whatsoever. Right, you're just going to say that, which is completely not true. But let's continue. Muons are similar to electrons which orbit atoms and are responsible for electrical currents, but they're about 200 times as massive. In the experiment, they were made to wobble using powerful superconducting magnets. So you know what's funny? I don't have to scream because my thoughts and my evidence speaks for itself. I want you guys to see the trickery here because I got to give it to you in plain sight. I'm going to read it again. In the experiment, they were made to wobble, these muons, using powerful superconducting magnets, which is funny because if you used the force of electromagnetism, which I contend is the only demonstrable force, to make them wobble, just like you said, using superconducting magnets, right? Electromagnetism. If electromagnetism was the force that caused them to wobble, why not just tell us that that's the only demonstrable force? Why do you have to fucking add a fifth force because of the wobble? You make no sense. I see through you. Anybody with a brain sees through you. Don't worry, guys. My work is going to be recognized in the future. Some of you listening to me right now know what the fuck I'm doing. Some of you have no fucking clue. And some of you are probably getting your mind blown right now. So, maybe this Z guy knows something. So if you used electromagnetisms to cause the muons to wobble, why not just tell us that that's the force? Why not just tell us the truth that you're just manipulating electromagnetic energy? Why don't you tell us the truth that likely gravity is just the manipulation of that gravity is just probably electromagnetism? I don't want to give you another theory. Why do you lie? Let's continue. The results showed that the muons wobbled faster than the standard model said it should. So instead of saying, hey, the standard model's looking kind of bullshit, how can we prove the bending and warping of space-time, which is gravity, which is part of those four forces that are part of the standard model? Why not just say there's no proof of the bending and warping of space-time? Why not admit that saying that a force can be based on the bending and warping of space-time is actually a logical fallacy called a reification fallacy, where you basically give physical qualities to abstractions. Like I said, maybe some of you are going to figure out what the fuck I'm doing here. Whatever. I don't want to make it about me. Let's continue. Professor Benenziani of Liverpool University, who is one of the leading researchers on the project, told BBC News that this might be caused by an unknown new force, right? Don't just say it's electromagnetism. We think there could be another force, something that we are not aware of now. It is something different, which we call the fifth force. Quote, if it's something different, something we don't know about yet, but it should be important because it says something new about the universe. No, it doesn't. It says you're liars is what it says. It doesn't say anything new about anything, especially the quote-unquote universe. And here we go, where we got to bring up Einstein. If confirmed, this would represent arguably one of the biggest scientific breakthroughs for 100 years since Einstein's theory of relativity, which is complete and utter nonsense. Thank you. Anyway, that is because a fifth force and any particles associated with it are not part of the standard model of particle physics. Unbelievable. Researchers know that there is what they describe as physics beyond the standard model. Yeah, because the standard model is bullshit out there. Because the current theory can explain lots of things that astronomers observe in space. Can I read that again? I think I will. Because the current theory can't explain lots of things that astronomers observe in space. So instead of saying the theory has been falsified and therefore it's bullshit and tossing it out, you'll just have to fucking keep piling on more bullshit theories on top of it. Completely going against logic, reasoning, and any God-given sovereignty that a fucking man or woman may have, and giving us this fucking horseshit as you deceive humanity into fucking the pits of hell through your fucking trickster, demon-like, and fucking other ways occulted and sick fuck obvious deceptions. And I'm tired of it. I'm I'm literally fucking tired of it because I see through it. Look, just because you morons can't see what I see is not my fucking problem. I'm gonna keep coming on here and doing this, and someday maybe some of you are gonna fucking get it. Fucking jokes, they're fucking, it's unbelievable. It's unfucking believable. These include the fact that galaxies are continuing to accelerate apart after the Big Bang that created the universe, rather than expansion slowing down. Right. Whoops. Your whole theories on this universe, guys, remember we talked about how black holes don't match up? How nothing matches up? Scientists say the acceleration is being driven by an unknown force called dark energy. Yeah. So instead of admitting the theory's bullshit, you're just going to tell us there's dark energy that accounts for 90%, 96% of all matter. That dark energy, dark matter is actually the vast majority of matter, 96%. Because your math is off by a factor of 96%. I want you to think about how far off that is, guys. We're 4% correct with our theory of gravity, weak and strong nuclear forces when we look in the subatomic level. But instead of just admitting you falsified the theory and moving on and just admitting it's really all just electromagnetics, you fucking give us a bullshit thing called dark energy that of course can't be tested at all because it's dark. Can I touch dark energy? Can I observe dark energy? Can I measure dark energy? Can I experiment on it and then repeat that experiment? No, exactly. I can't. It's non-demonstrable. You guys are liars and assholes. Let's finish this up. Galaxies are also spinning faster than they should, according to our understanding of how much material is in them. Researchers believe it's because of invisible particles called dark matter, which again are not part of the standard model. Like I said, guys, it's all lies. It's all bad for you. It's not a new world order. It's just a world order. They've been around for an extremely long time. I don't care what you call them. I don't care if you call them the small hatties. I don't care if you call them the Jesuits. I don't care if you call them the fallen ones. I don't care if you call them the Nephilim. It doesn't matter to me what you call it. There's no sovereign countries, sovereign nations. It's one control structure. They look at you like cattle and chattel. They call you all kinds of names. Useless eaters. They're deceiving your children. You've been deceived. It's institutionalized from the top down. If you don't see it, I can't help you. May God have mercy on all your souls.